Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's episode, I'll be sharing everything you need to know about visiting Athens, Greece. From how to get there, the best times to visit, where to stay, and the must-see attractions. Make sure to stay till the end because I'll also be sharing some handy Greek words to learn and also a few tips on saving money during your next visit. With that said, this is Backpack Gringo providing your ultimate guide on visiting Athens. Athens is the largest city in Greece and a key part of the country's history. Millions of tourists flock to Athens each year to gaze at its many ancient sites that provide a glimpse into what life was like in the region thousands of years ago. To make the most out of your next Athens vacation, selecting the right time to visit is crucial. The best months to travel to the city are between April to June and September to October, where there's typically less crowds of people, reasonable prices, and perfect weather ranging in the 60s to mid-80s. Also, try your best to avoid visiting in July and August due to the high influx of tourists. These months bring painfully hot temperatures often exceeding 90 degrees, peak tourist crowds, and higher hotel prices. Assuming you're taking a flight to visit the city, you'll most likely land at the Athens International Airport. In Athens, it's actually not advisable to rent a car due to it being really hard to drive in the city and the significant lack of parking. Instead, once you arrive at the airport, you should either plan on taking an Uber or jumping on a metro or the bus to ride into the city center. The Line 3/the Blue Line Metro offers a fast and reliable method only taking 40 minutes and costing €9 one way. There's also the X95 bus line, which is an alternative you can take from the airport that costs €6 one way and takes about 1 hour to reach the city center. If you're looking at a map of Athens, you'll see that most of the main attractions are located in the center of the city. Since everything is close by and easily walkable, it's a good idea to choose your accommodation in one of the following neighborhoods. The first place I'd recommend is Plaka, due to its central location at the foot of the Acropolis, and also the shopping mall area just up north. This is one of the oldest and most historic neighborhoods in Athens, and is very close to all the main attractions. It's a popular area for tourists, so you'll find plenty of souvenir shops, cafes, and traditional Greek tavernas. Situated just south of the Acropolis Museum is Koukaki. This neighborhood is perfect for budget-conscious travelers or those looking for a more authentic, less touristy experience. And finally, consider staying in Kolonaki if you enjoy a more luxurious stay in an upscale neighborhood full of boutiques and high-end shopping and dining options. Before I cover some of the top attractions in the city, I first wanted to provide a great tip on how to save money on entrance tickets. If you're planning a trip to Athens, I would recommend picking up this combined ticket, which includes admission to 8 popular sites around the city. Please note that the entrance to the Acropolis, which I'll be covering shortly, is only possible during an assigned time slot. So when you purchase this combined ticket, you will need to select the time slot you plan on visiting. Also, I'll make sure to put a link to this site in the video description below. The city of Athens is absolutely jam-packed with really cool ancient sites to visit. If you're looking for some inspiration on things to do, here's some of our favorite places we visited during our last trip. The first place I'd like to recommend is the Acropolis. This famous archaeological site sits on top of a hill overlooking the city. It was constructed during the Golden Age of Athens in the 5th century BCE to honor the goddess Athena. At the Acropolis, you'll find many structures still standing, like the Parthenon, the Erechtheion, the Propylaea, the Odeon of Herodes Atticus, the Theater of Dionysus, and much, much more. One last thing to note is that the lines to get in are pretty long despite the time slot reservation system. So it's recommended to pick one of the earlier slots to avoid a majority of the crowd. The next thing I'd like to suggest is to make a visit to Areopagus Hill, located right next to the entrance of the Acropolis. This is a popular vantage point which gives perfect views of the city and great photo opportunities with the Acropolis in the background. The Ancient Agora of Athens was once the heart of city life, where the public gathered at marketplaces and attended political debates. Today, you can walk amongst the ruins in the same spaces where society flourished, and philosophers like Socrates once debated. During its history, the Agora faced extensive damage during attacks by the Romans, Heruli, and later the Persians. Over centuries, the site became buried beneath layers of houses and churches, only to be rediscovered in the 19th and 20th centuries, nearly 1,400 years later during archaeological excavations. On the grounds, you'll also find the Temple of Hephaestus, dedicated to the god of craftsmanship and fire. Despite dating back to the 5th century BCE, it's still in great shape and it's one of the best preserved ancient temples in Greece. Here, you'll also stumble across the Museum of Ancient Agora. This museum houses many artifacts discovered in the Agora, including pottery and sculptures, some of which are in amazing shape and have very impressive detail. Up next is the Temple of the Olympian Zeus, also known as the Olympion. This site hosts the remains of a once colossal temple in Athens dedicated to Zeus, the king of the Olympian gods. The temple originally had 104 massive columns, each 17 meters tall, but as of today, only 15 of these columns remain standing. If you don't have a lot of time, a visit here is perfect as it should only take a few minutes. If you're looking to do some holiday shopping in the city, the Monastiraki Flea Market is going to be the best place. This long street is lined with many shops and stores on both sides, perfect for browsing and finding gifts or souvenirs. At the end of the flea market, on the side that opens to Monastiraki Square, you'll immediately be greeted by Hadrian's library. This building, which used to store literary works and legal archives, was built by the Roman Emperor Hadrian in 132 AD, as part of his ambition to establish Athens as the cultural center of his empire. If you're looking to do more exploring away from the large crowds, I'd recommend making a stop by the Kerameikos Archeological Site. This area was originally a district known for its potters and vase painters, and also served as a burial ground, becoming the primary cemetery of ancient Athens. On the grounds, you can also visit the small Kerameikos Museum, which should only take a few minutes, but hosts some amazing artifacts found in the area. To keep this video concise and to the point, these were just some of the places you can visit in Athens. Other honorable mentions that you should definitely not pass up are the Roman Forum of Athens, which was an ancient marketplace and public square, the Acropolis Museum, which is a huge building that showcases artifacts from the Acropolis of Athens, Athens National Garden, which is a public park that also features a small zoo, and Areopagus Hill, the highest point in Athens and the perfect place to get panoramic views of the city. When visiting any country, at the very least, it's a really good idea to learn a few common words. While many people do speak English in Greece, knowing a few words will be appreciated and may go a long way. So buckle up, because you're about to take Greek 101 with Backpack Gringo. So here is an English to Greek breakdown of a few common words. You'll find the English word on the left side and the Greek translation along with its pronunciation on the right. Okay, so starting off, the first word we'll cover is hello, which is also the same word that you use to say goodbye as well, and there's an informal and there's a formal way to say it. If you're speaking to a singular friend that you already know, you would use the informal method, or yaso, yaso. And if you're speaking to a group of friends, or let's say a stranger, you would use the formal method, which would be yasas, yasas. Yes is ne, no is ohi. In order to say please or you're welcome, you would say perakalo, perakalo. And a super easy way to ask how much is something, you could just point and say poso, poso. In order to say I want, you could say delo, delo. And a formal way to say cheers, you can just say yamas, yamas. These are just a few Greek phrases you can quickly learn. Despite there being numerous ways to say each one depending on the situation, I've tried my best to lay out the most simple ways. And when trying to learn a language, you shouldn't be hesitant, because even if you do use it in the wrong context, a local will still understand what you mean. To wrap this video up, I'm going to be providing 2 general travel tools that I frequently use to help me prepare for visiting a new country or city. One tool I highly recommend using is called Visit a City. This tool is incredibly useful for planning what to do on your trips. Simply enter the city you're visiting, select how many days you plan on staying, and it will provide you with the itineraries that include all the main attractions within that area. Each itinerary is also grouped by attractions that are within a close proximity to each other, so you may visit nearby attractions one day and a different grouping on the other side of the city on the next. Visit a City is also available both on website and mobile app, but I suggest using the mobile version because it's more straightforward and convenient for on-the-go use. Best of all, this tool is 100% free. The second tool I highly recommend is Areolo, an on-the-go eSIM provider that covers over 200 countries and regions. With Areolo, you can purchase an eSIM for a specific country or opt for a broader coverage, such as a Europe-wide eSIM that works in 39 different countries in the area. Instead of arriving in a new country and scrambling to find an expensive eSIM card at the airport, or even having to navigate into the city to find one without cell phone reception, you can simply buy and install your eSIM before you travel, ensuring immediate access to data upon landing. This convenience is an absolute game changer for me, especially since the newer models of iPhone and other phone brands as well are all transitioning to using only eSIM or a combination of the two. I've been using this app for the past year or more, and even get 10% back on my purchases due to their loyalty program. If you're planning to travel soon, I absolutely recommend downloading this application on your phone and check out their eSIM plans. Also, by using my Areolo link found in the video description below, you can help support my channel and also future videos. A special thanks to everyone who has made it to the end of this video. I hope this guide on visiting Athens helps you in one way or another plan your next trip to Greece. Please feel free to leave any questions or thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I would greatly appreciate if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Doing so really helps this small channel grow and allows these types of videos to be shared with fellow travelers. So thanks again for tuning into another video brought to you by yours truly, Backpack Gringo.